Hello, my name is Scott Davis. Welcome to New World Birth. This is the care and feeding of a New World Age report for the Gregorian date of March 2nd, 2016, and one man-eek or deer in the Mayan Zolkin calendar, with Mercury entering Pisces, Mars entering Sagittarius, the Pisces New Moon and solar eclipse, and Venus also entering Pisces. March 2nd is one man-eek or deer. It carries the themes of service, healing, protection, and sacrifice, intuitive and instinctual knowledge, the four directions, shamanic energy, ritual dance, dignity, respect, and breaking free of limitations. The ritual deer dance symbolizes the sanctity and balance between the people and nature. The energy of deer is to rise up above limitations of living only on a physical plane. This is a time to connect with spirituality through ceremony, dance, ritual, and being in nature. It's also a time to find strength to break free of anything limiting spiritual growth and healing. And before I get into the daily energy for one man-eek or deer, on the 2nd, all the planets appear to be moving forward from our vantage point here on the Earth, with the exception of Jupiter, which appears to be moving in reverse or in retrograde motion. And remember, the themes of retrograde planets are the review of the past, reminisce, reevaluate, and we can see these themes being played out. Jupiter was the king of the gods, and the planet is about good fortune, opportunities, faith, religion, beliefs, and expansion. And Jupiter is in Virgo, and Virgo is about organization, health, and service. Mostly what I find with Jupiter retrograde, as with any retrograde cycle, there's a review of the past, and with Jupiter, what gets reviewed is missed opportunities. So let's look at the daily vibrational energy for this Trecena. March 2nd is one man-eek or deer, which is about unity experience through being of service to others in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. And on the 2nd, we have Venus in a sextile to Uranus. So from our perspective here on the Earth, Venus is forming a 60-degree angle with Uranus, which is a day where people will seek excitement outside of their daily routines. It stimulates new interactions with people who can fascinate us and can could be aware that romances that are begun under this transit may not be long-lasting, even though they seem pleasantly electrifying. It's great energy for a fling with friends or a party. Folks will seek freedom, will be more freedom-seeking in their relationships during this transit, so it does not favor being clingy, possessive, or jealous. Allowing loved ones more leeway and flexibility. This could greatly broaden your understanding of your partners and friends, and in doing so, new insights into yourself. I'm not going to be covering the daily lunar activity in these reports other than the new and full moons, but that information is available on the New World Birth daily Facebook post and also on the blogger New World Birth blog. The 3rd is two Lamont or star or rabbit or Venus, which is about duality experience through being grateful for abundant relationships in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. March 4th is 3 Maluk or offering, which is about taking action through appreciating all creation. The 5th is 4 Auk or dog. This is about stability through enjoying friends and family, while we have Mercury entering into Pisces, which brings our minds and communication into the realm of psychic revelations, while in Pisces, this brings a time period with strong spiritual undercurrents and otherworldly realizations, but it can also bring great confusion. Also on the 5th, Mars enters into Sagittarius. which brings energy for long distance travel and studying subjects that inspire the higher mind. Folks may feel a stronger sense of patriotism. Due to turning retrograde on April 17th, Mars will spend almost 3 months in the sign of the Happy Wanderer before returning to Scorpio. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so Mars is likely to take action around the themes of law, religion, philosophy, and higher education. With more energy for people who are inclined to do so, maybe acting self-righteous or possibly to the point of believing that might is right with the Mars and Sag. And then also on the 5th, Mercury squares Mars. So from our perspective here on Earth, Mercury is making a 90-degree angle with Mars, which could have people feeling touchy and irritable with almost any communication interpreted as a challenge. It's hard to imagine that someone doesn't get off by with an implied attitude with this transit. People may feel like they have to defend their ideas from a simple debate to an all-out fight. It's a time when it'd be important to realize that beliefs and thoughts can change, and to not identify our ego with them. And this transit also indicates the potential to be involved in accidents. This is particularly likely for somebody who's trying to suppress their anger. March 6th is 5 John or monkey, 5 Shuin or monkey, which is about empowerment through creating something new. And at this point, we have the Sun in a square to Saturn. So from our perspective here on the Earth, this is a 90-degree angle between the Sun and Saturn, which has people feeling unlucky, and it brings up issues that were difficult to handle. But also the effect, it doesn't last for more than a few days. It really brings up two questions: what do we owe others, and what do we owe ourselves? This is a conflict between self-gratification and duty to others. This tension between the two poles may seem limiting and depression, but it also wants to break out of this rut, but may find that the restrictions that are holding you back there are restrictions that are holding you back from being ourselves. Folks will not want to go to work or school or interact with people and prefer not to associate with under this transit. This can bring resentments as obstacles interfere with our wishes to do what we want. Under this influence, people may make assumptions without checking the facts, which is not favorable for relationships with authority figures. The best use of this transit is to channel the energy into self-discipline. Often others are not holding us back, but we are projecting our internal restraint outwards onto people in our immediate environment. This is a low physical and psychological energy transit, so you may feel the weight of the world is just too heavy. It may also bring up questions that we've been avoiding answering, and the possibility of negative thoughts. This transit shows us where our vulnerabilities and weaknesses are, and gives us an idea about what we can work to gain greater confidence. Also on the 6th, we have the Sun in a sextile to Pluto. From our perspective here on the Earth, the Sun is making a 60-degree angle with Pluto, which empowers us to make changes in our immediate environment and reform the aspects of our life that have brought us unhappiness over time, embracing the opportunities that can be used for the improvement of the general good. This is good energy for cleaning up a situation that has become confused or disordered, such as getting clear on a difficult personal situation, or even just cleaning your house. It also brings us deeper into our thoughts, with a feeling that the superficial aspects are no longer adequate. Investigations should be thorough, leaving no stone unturned. Subjects such as psychology, the occult, yoga, and other transformative techniques are also favored for study under this influence. The seventh is six, ebb or road, which is about being in the flow through serving your community in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. March 8th is 7 Ben or corn or reed, which is about reflection through maintaining the home, while we have the Pisces New Moon at 18 degrees 56 minutes of Pisces. It's merged with Neptune, the Sun, and Chiron. It's challenged by Saturn in harmony with Pluto and opposed by Jupiter. And it's also the first eclipse of the year, a total solar eclipse. This new moon represents new beginnings related to Jupiter, the traditional ruler of Pisces, in opposition to this lunation brings feelings of generosity. And Neptune, the modern ruler of Pisces, merging with the moon, brings feelings of empathy for those around us, including the possibility of clairvoyance and telepathic experiences for those who are sensitive by nature. Squared by Saturn influences people to feeling lonely and isolated. Sextile Pluto has deep emotions finding their way to the surface and felt on a profound level, and the conjunction to Chiron has us illuminating wounds so that they can be released and healed. Healing is not always a pleasant experience, but it's less painful than not healing. And this is, of course, the first eclipse of 2016. And eclipses are particularly powerful where they can be viewed, which will be, for this one, mostly over the Pacific Ocean and parts of Indonesia. There's something primordial about eclipses that even with modern knowledge of the event, they still stir some deep animal uncertainty within. New moons also bring an opportunity to set an intention for manifestation on the following full moon. You want to look at the house of your astrology chart that contains 18 degrees, 56 minutes of Pisces to consider what area of your life is being activated by this new moon. For me, this is my 10th house of career and public standing, so I would set an intention related to using this energy in those themes. This new moon is particularly potent for making changes through taking a leap of faith, leading us deeper into 2016 as we're moving through the numerological 3-month. Certainly releasing outdated limitations to reveal a greater awareness of our authentic truth self. Our new direction and purpose is indicated with this new moon. Also on the 8th, the Sun is opposed to Jupiter. So from our perspective here on the Earth, this is a 180-degree angle between the Sun and Jupiter, which has a double potential that we see with oppositions. This is another day of feeling good, cheerful, and optimistic, with a feeling that nothing can go wrong. But it also has good points and bad points. The best way to find success with this transit is to not go overboard in any area. And of course, this is exactly what can happen at this time. And this can also build our self-confidence, giving us the courage to do something that we've never done before. It's another example of Jupiter alignment where we need to avoid being arrogant. Any negativity that is being expressed also expands and can turn into conflicts with others. It's important to know your listener if you are offering constructive criticism to avoid offering more than can be heard. Authority figures may interpret informing as overstepping some sort of boundary, or even as self-righteousness. As with any opposition, like a full moon, it's a time that something that was planted, in this case back in August, is coming to fruition. Basically, at this time, you don't want to extend yourself or make commitments that you can't keep. The ninth is 8 Ish or Jaguar, balanced through enjoying nature in the Mayan Soul King calendar. March 10th is 9 Man or Eagle, which is about patience through seeing from a higher perspective. The 11th is 10 Keeb or Wisdom, which is a manifestation through introspection, meditation, and forgiveness. And at this point, we've got Mercury conjunct Neptune, so it's moved further along in its orbit so that Mercury and Neptune are both at the same degree of Pisces. And this also has two different possibilities. The positive is to be able to express ideas and feelings that are very subtle and not usually available to our conscious mind, which is wonderful for artistic expression or inspired exploration into mystical subjects. The negative aspect would be that our imaginations go overboard into illusions and delusions, and it may bring confused thinking and or communications with the temptation towards dishonesty. So it might be a time to avoid legal agreements, business dealings, or contracts due to a lack of clarity, with the possibility of being misled or deceived. Also on the 11th, the Sun conjuncts Chiron, which illuminates our old wounds, making release and healing possible. March 12th is 11 Kaban or Earth, which is about resolution through gratitude for Mother Earth in the Mayan Soul King calendar. The 13th is 12 Etsnob or Flint, understanding through being introspective. And at this point, we have Venus entering into Pisces. And which brings a more awareness to intuitive, unseen realms, inspiring spiritual and psychic experiences, but it also brings the fog of illusion regarding love, romance, socializing, and money. And on the 14th, we have 13 Kawak or Storm, movement to the next stage through recognizing the gifts in adversity. And we also have Mercury in a square to Saturn from our perspective here on the Earth. These two planets are forming a 90-degree angle, which favors a heavy mental contemplation that requires disciplined thinking, a sharper mind, and a higher standard for quality. But it also brings difficulty in communicating and being understood by others. This is not the best time for any type of negotiation with folks misinterpreting each other. Excuse me. So I delay business dealings for a day or two. This is a time when people are more likely to withdraw and feel lonely. The gift of this passage is that it increases our ability to think practically, but we also see imperfections and flaws. Overall, the 14th brings a new understanding and conscious awareness. And then also on the 14th, Venus is in a square to Mars. So from our perspective here on the Earth, this is again another 90-degree angle between Venus and Mars. This tends to arouse our interest in the opposite sex that is physical and perhaps sexual in nature. But this energy can lead to discord if there are hidden tensions in the relationship. Healthy relationships should not have any difficulty during this transit, whose function is to test the pairing. It's basically about, on one side, engaging in what's pleasurable for you and your partner, and on the other side, where there are tensions that could lead to disputes, that come from unexpressed sexuality. The amount of love will really determine which way the dice will fall. This creates difficulty in couples trying to keep interactions nice and easy that are not expressing the drives that Mars is known for. Relationships that begin under this transit tend to be based only on physical attraction. So no matter what energies are affecting you during the 1 Deer Trecena, just take some time to be in the flow of the planet by being in nature, watching a sunrise or a sunset, communing with the stars, being conscious of the moment through introspection, meditation, or being with somebody you truly love. Every day is a blessing, no matter what the dramas that beckon to distract us, and I believe that we're all giving the performance of a lifetime on the world stage. We just have to remember that to observe the play as well as acting our part, because we are all spiritual beings that are having a human experience. I want to thank you for checking out New World Birth. The next segment of the care and feeding of a new world age will be on March 15th for one Ahau or Sun, with the Sun entering Aries for the equinox, followed by Mercury entering Aries, the Libra full moon and lunar eclipse, and Saturn turning retrograde. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, or the Mind Magic's website, and I encourage you to share this information as videos or as text as widely as you choose. And as always, I invite you to contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you have any questions or you wish to schedule a reading. I am providing readings and do wish to make this service available to the greatest amount of folks. So if you've been thinking about getting a reading, please contact me. I would love to provide you a reading during these uncertain times. You'll need to be able to either call me in Maine, in the USA, or we can connect with Skype to receive your reading. We're also accepting donations to keep these reports freely available. As always, I'm blessed that you've taken the time to connect with my passion for these ancient mysteries and their application into our journey during this incarnation. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, in Lakesh, and look forward to connecting with you in the future. Peace, everyone.